Hello, it's now 8 a.m. local time here in Hanoi, and you are tuning in to the latest English news updates brought to you by VTV International. I'm Ming Chang, and here comes the headlines. Interview with Norwegian Prime Minister. Da Nang City to top 2014 Provincial Competitiveness Index rankings. And later on, memories of war cat by a soldier artist. As already mentioned in our previous bulletins, Norwegian Prime Minister Erna Solberg is currently on an official visit to Vietnam from April 16 to 18th at the invitation of Prime Minister Nguyễn Tân Dũng. The purpose of this visit is to strengthen bilateral relations between Vietnam and Norway and promote Vietnam's implementation of the United Nations Millennium Development Goals upon the world stage. For this occasion, our reporter Dai Chang held an interview with the Norwegian Prime Minister, who shared her opinions and assessments of the two countries' cooperation. Thank you for taking the time with us today. First of all, could you give some assessments on the relationship between Vietnam and Norway in recent years? And does Norway have any specific plan to promote the two countries' relations?
I think we have a very good relationship between Norway and Vietnam. We have that on business, on trade, and we have that through partnering in promoting education, promoting social development, at the same time as, of course, investments, jobs, and job creation is important. Vietnam and Norway has quite a lot of things in common. Fisheries are important for both of our countries. So it's we have a work together on this. The maritime sector is important, and of course the energy.
Bilateral trade turnover between Vietnam and Norway maintains at more than $300 million in 2014. So what are the future plans that the two sides are pursuing to improve this figure?
My expectation is to get even closer ties and to learn more about Vietnam. It's important that political leaders meet each other and can discuss. It's also important that that is a good framework for international cooperation and for trade. And I think the trade figures will increase. Norway has quite a large group of Vietnamese who live in Norway, who have a lot of contacts back to their home country. So we have different levels of contact on the government level, people-to-people level, but also the possibility of increasing trade and investment from businesses.
Could you give some assessments on Vietnam's achievements in achieving United Nations Millennium Development Goals, and how can Norway support Vietnam in this field?
I always believe that it's the country themselves that have to deal with the big issues like education, environment. It's very important with the political connection, but sometimes it's interesting to have cooperation and partnership with other countries to learn how they are dealing with it. And I'm here both as a Prime Minister of Norway, but also as an advocate for the Millennium Goals and achievement that Vietnam have done on the Millennium Goals, which is quite remarkable. The figures are very good. Vietnam has done great leaps, not just on the economic side, but also on the social side, both to fight poverty, to make sure that more people are going through the educational system, learning more, and also in the health areas. But there is always more jobs to do, and it's not evenly distributed throughout of Vietnam. So probably I'm anxious to hear how are the government strategies on this, because as an advocate for the Millennium Development Goal, I'm trying to push other governments to achieve even more.
Once again, thank you very much for the interview. Chinese Minister of Public Security Guo Xiankun is on a working visit to Vietnam from April 16 to 17 at the invitation of Public Security Minister Trần Đại Quang. Now, during their talks on April 16, the two ministers said the visit was a milestone of their bilateral cooperation. The two leaders signed a plan to implement the Memorandum of Understanding from the fourth ministerial meeting on preventing and combating crime. The document specifies that both countries will continually share information in this endeavor to ensure security in each country, foil sabotage schemes by hostile reactionary forces and criminals, and guarantee safety for their citizens, leaders, and bilateral diplomatic activities. All construction and upgrade activities by foreign countries on islands and reef in the Paracel and Spratly archipelagos without the Vietnamese government's permission are illegal and invalid. This announcement was made by Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lê Hải Bình at a regular press briefing in Hanoi on April 16.
On April the 9th, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying announced that China has expanded reefs in the Spratly archipelagos. Answering questions from reporters about Vietnam's reaction to that declaration, Vietnamese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lê Hải Bình said that Vietnam has repeatedly made its position clear to China on this issue, including at senior levels. He emphasized that Vietnam has sufficient legal basis and historical evidence validating its sovereignty over the Paracel and Spratly archipelagos.
Vietnam resolutely opposes these actions and asks the concerned parties to fully implement the Declaration on the Conduct of Parties in the East Sea, or DOC, as a practical contribution to maintaining peace and stability in the East Sea.
Also at the press conference, the Vietnamese Foreign Ministry spokesperson also provided information pertaining to the protection of the Vietnamese laborers working in foreign countries. Regarding the Vietnam Airlines pilot and chief flight attendant who were arrested in the Republic of Korea for gold smuggling, Bình said that the Vietnamese Foreign Ministry is coordinating with related agencies and directing the Vietnamese embassy to Korea to work with Korean agencies to resolve this issue. On April 12th, the Indonesian Ministry's Marine Resources and Fisheries Surveillance Directorate General caught and detained a vessel flying under a Vietnamese flag, which had no legitimate documents and was illegally fishing in Indonesian waters. Regarding this issue, Lê Hải Bình said,
The Vietnamese embassy in Indonesia is promptly working with the Indonesian officials to ascertain if this ship is Vietnamese or not. If it is a Vietnamese ship, the embassy will implement the necessary measures to protect the Vietnamese citizens to ensure their lives and assets in accordance with international and Indonesian laws.
Also on April 12th, a Vietnamese citizen was arrested by Ukraine officials at the airport as he was carrying a watch which had a level of radioactivity 6,000 times higher than normal levels. Lê Hải Bình affirmed that currently the Vietnamese embassy to Ukraine is working with officials there to clarify this issue.
Over the past 2 years, about 60,000 islanders have benefited from a project to develop healthcare services on the country's islands. The outcome of this project, which will continue until 2020, was reviewed on Thursday by the National Steering Committee for Sea and Island Healthcare and representatives from the authorities of 28 coastal provinces. According to the project's report, the authorities have made improvements in healthcare services, preferential health insurance policies, and the medical infrastructure. In addition, the convention healthcare sector and the military medical force have cooperated to provide emergency care to more than 2,800 people. However, despite these achievements, many delegates have argued that the responsibility of investing in the healthcare service should be shared by a greater range of agencies. Moving on now to other news. The National Steering Committee for International Economic Integration held a meeting on Thursday to discuss plans and approaches to enhance the nation's economic integration. In 2015, Vietnam aims to finalize 3 out of 6 ongoing free trade agreements. The 3 earmarked for completion are with Korea, the European Union, and the Customs Union of Belarus, Kazakhstan, and Russia. Speaking at the meeting, the committee's chairman, Deputy Prime Minister Vũ Văn Ninh, stressed the importance of local authorities and businesses stepping up their preparations. In addition, he urged all ministries and agencies to actively propose solutions for emerging issues, as well as improve information access for all stakeholders. The central city of Da Nang maintained its top position in the 2014 Provincial Competitiveness Index, or PCI, rankings. Now, this announcement was made during a ceremony to launch the 2014 PCI held by the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or VCCI, on April 16. This year's event marked the 10th PCI in Vietnam, which were jointly held by VCCI and the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID.
The CPI 2014 report reflects the opinions of nearly 10,000 private and 1,500 FDI companies in Vietnam. This year saw Ho Chi Minh City make the list of top 5 localities for the first time. Meanwhile, Da Nang City topped the PCI table for the second year running. One of the chief factors behind this achievement was the implementation of the Da Nang Business Year in 2014.
Da Nang's authorities always care about businesses. This is shown in our determination to boost administrative reforms. Also, civil servants in Da Nang are well trained. We have significantly changed the working attitudes, and we always welcome investors.
Meanwhile, the northern province of Lao Cai made the most remarkable progress, stepping up 14 places in the rankings to 3rd place. Lao Cai also scored the highest in terms of transparency.
To reduce administrative procedure time, payoffs, and to promote market entry, we had to clarify our policies and procedures. So, in addition to reforms in management, Lao Cai province also extensively computerized its business registration steps and customs system. We also implemented an online tax payment project.
Generally, the capacity of economic management in most cities and provinces has seen positive progress, with average PCI rising from 57.81 in 2013 to 58.58 in 2014. The VCCI also revealed that differences in economic management between the top and bottom groups had narrowed in recent years.
Provinces with the lowest ranks have changed quickly, while provinces in the top brackets seem to reform slower. Also, initiatives to reform the top provinces have declined in number compared to previous years.
The 2014 PCI report shed fresh light on the quality of human resources and the relations between employees and businesses in Vietnam. Notably, in 2014, the quality of vocational training worsened, while enterprises spending on training employees increased. PCI 2014 marked the 10th year of cooperation between VCCI and USAID in compiling the PCI report.
With the theme Cooperation Towards the ASEAN Economic Community, the 25th International Trade Fair Vietnam Expo 2015 took place in Hanoi on Wednesday. Now, this was an opportunity for Vietnamese businesses to seek opportunities and connect with foreign partners.
Over 720 booths, 600 companies from 28 countries, and 380 booths from more than 300 Vietnamese enterprises. These figures reflect the increasing interest among Vietnamese enterprises of seeking opportunities with foreign businesses. At first, I thought fairs like these were a chance for me to introduce my company's products, but then I realized that it is also a chance to find foreign partners and expand our products in overseas markets. This fair is very important, especially at a time when Vietnam is about to join many free trade agreements. Items displayed at the fair are diverse, ranging from machinery and agricultural equipment to building materials, electronic devices, textile materials, and leather goods.
Vietnam Expo 2015 is an opportunity for Vietnamese enterprises to access overseas markets in ASEAN countries. It is also a chance for Vietnamese enterprises to test their competitiveness and enhance their capacity to prepare for economic integration at the end of this year.
There are also many sideline events and activities being held, such as an export promotion forum by the Department of Trade Promotion and workshops and seminars to promote trade between Vietnamese enterprises and foreign partners.
Businesses and authorities from the Ministry of Trade and Industry gathered at a forum on Thursday in Hanoi to seek ways to boost Vietnamese product exports and maximize opportunities from the integration process in 2015. Participants discussed effective logistical approaches to enhance export competitiveness and share practical experience. They also stressed the importance of applying modern technology in the agricultural sector to improve product quality and overall productivity. At the event, the role of the logistics sector was highlighted as a key area of support for the development of domestic businesses. The event is part of ongoing activities for the Vietnam Expo 2015 taking place in Hanoi. An agreement was reached between the Ministry of Labor and Bodies and Social Affairs of Vietnam and the Ministry of Employment and Labor of Korea on Vietnamese workers in Korea. According to the agreement, in the next 3 months, 5,400 CVs of Vietnamese applicants will be posted on the Korean employment network to be selected by Korean employers. Eligible applicants include those who passed Korean language test in December 2011, May to August 2012, and March 2014, as well as those who completed their previous contracts and returned to Vietnam afterwards. The applications open for 1 year, and about 2,900 Vietnamese workers will be employed in various sectors, including manufacturing, construction, and agriculture. Coming up next in the latter half of our bulletin, 40th anniversary of Ninh Thuận Provincial Liberation Day celebrated. And the Luan Buddha bathing ceremony concludes Khmer New Year's festival. Stay tuned. Ninh Thuận Province celebrated the 40th anniversary of its Liberation Day on Thursday, with several party central committee leaders attending the celebration ceremony. Addressing the event, Dinh Thế Huynh, Politburo member and secretary of the party central committee and head of the Commission for Popularization and Education, praised the efforts of those who fought for the liberation of the province. He added that the patriotism of the past was a great example for the authorities in Ninh Thuận, which should inspire them to develop the province into a prosperous and stable area in terms of politics and social security. Since its liberation 40 years ago, Ninh Thuận has indeed made great strides forward, with the province budget reaching $83.3 million in 2015, a 51-fold increase compared to 1992. The province's average annual growth rate is 8.8%, while the industry and service sectors here are going from strength to strength. On this occasion, Ninh Thuận Province was granted the third-class Independence Medal for its achievement. An exhibition to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Southern Liberation and National Reunification was opened in Ho Chi Minh City on Thursday. On display are thousands of historical objects collected by Vietnamese soldiers after 1975. The items include photos, war models, and maps representing the attack formations of Vietnamese soldiers in different campaigns, as well as personal objects from both Vietnamese and American soldiers. The event portrays a broad view of Vietnam's revolutionary path during the American War in Vietnam. Soldiers who fought in the war often keep keepsakes from that time, and most often this is a piece of clothing or a medal or photos, while for others the scars are enough of a reminder. But Lê Chí Dũng, formerly a tank operator and war reporter, has captured hundreds of moments in the war in his sketches.
A quick rest for an old man from Vân Kiều. An observation tower built in the middle of a battlefield. Or a young girl from the militia transporting food to the front lines. These are three among the more than 200 sketches by painter Lê Chí Dũng, which he created during his time as a war reporter. For him, the harshness of the war brought into sharp contrast the many peaceful and beautiful moments in a soldier's life.
As a soldier and reporter, I had the privilege to carry around a gun in one hand and a camera in the other. That made it so easy for me to capture many special moments. I was able to make sketches everywhere, on any kind of paper, such as newspaper or on old documents.
The sketch Under the Tank captured the daily life of the soldiers living under the tank. It is one of Dũng favorite, partly because the people in it were from his unit, but mostly because it reminded him of an interesting story.
When the tank got to the assigned position, we dug a big shelter under the tank and stayed there. We did everyday things down there, such as reading the newspaper or smoking cigarettes.
Now Lê Chí Dũng still works as a painter. However, he keeps his sketches created during the war and only shows them to his family and close friends. He chose not to sell or exhibit them because to him, they are not just purely sketches about life in the time of war. They are his very own memories. However, some of them were printed in his journal, the pebbles picked up along the way, written during his time working as a war reporter.
The time fighting and living during the war has left us with many precious memories. We were very young, living in the prime of our lives. Therefore, although the war was hard and extreme, it also gave us the most pure and meaningful moments.
Although the war has been over 4 decades, memories from it remain captured in vivid detail in the sketches and books of people like Dũng. They are a very lively part of history that will be passed down to the younger generations so they can understand the great sacrifice made by soldiers in the past.
On Thursday, the military command in Ho Chi Minh City, in collaboration with local book publishers, presented 4 sets of books dealing with national anniversaries. The topics covered include the life of late President Ho Chi Minh, the 40th anniversary of the Spring Offensive, 70 years after the August Revolution on August the 9th, and National Day, September the 2nd. The 4 sets, which are made up of more than 100 books, contain in-depth and lively historical insights for readers keen to learn more about the nation's resilient history. The publication of these books is part of a string of events to celebrate the annual Book Day in Vietnam on April 21st, as well as the 40th anniversary of Southern Liberation and National Reunification Day. An art performance show was held on Wednesday night in the Vietnamese Heroic Mother Statue Complex area in Quang Nam Province as one among many activities to celebrate the 40th reunification anniversary of the country. The show, entitled The Victory Song Plays On, includes performances that bring back the victorious memoirs and express great gratitude for generations of soldiers and the direction of the party. Also on this occasion, local authority presented 228 saving accounts worth more than $50,000 to families of heroic mother and war invalids. 2 Japanese training ships from the Japanese Coast Guard will arrive at Tiên Sa Airport to begin an official visit to Da Nang. The 2 ships are led by Colonel Sugimoto Masaharu, commander of Escort Division 12. The visit will include knowledge and experience exchanges on maritime issues, as well as search and rescue operations at sea. More than 500 officers and crew members will also participate in various activities with Naval Region 3 of the Vietnam People's Navy. This is one of many annual visits Japanese Coast Guard ships have made under the strategic partnership between Vietnam and Japan. The first visit was made in September 2011. The Khmer community across the Mekong Delta region flocked to Khmer pagodas to celebrate the Buddha bathing ceremony on Thursday. Now, this is an important ritual as part of Chon Tonam Thmei, the New Year festival of the Khmer people. The following report takes you to Sopchang province to learn more about this special ceremony.
The Buddha bathing ceremony is one of the main parts of the traditional New Year festival, according to the ancient Khmer calendar. Coming here, the Khmer people pay tribute to the Buddha and their ancestors, cleanse themselves of bad luck, as well as pray for good luck, health and prosperity in the year ahead. To take part in the ritual, people prepare the fragrant water mixed with fresh flowers the day before. Then they bring it here and use it to bathe the Buddha statues. Once the Buddha has been cleansed, the remaining water is offered to the abbots and old monks.
We bathe the abbots and monks so that they can help us pray for the whole Khmer community to bring us good luck and health in the new year. The ritual is also to help the lost spirits to find their way to the Buddha.
After the bathing ritual, people offer incense and fruits to the late abbots and either go home or go to a graveyard to pay tribute to their ancestors. For Tirthi Saville, this day has always been a meaningful time to remember her deceased family members.
It is a Khmer traditional festival where we return to our hometown to pay respect to our parents. This year, I also wished for a successful year.
Traditional festivals like Chon Tonam Thmei are an indispensable part of the Khmer spiritual life as well as an integral part of this community's cultural identity, as it is being kept alive by Khmer people in such large numbers throughout the Mekong Delta. This ancient ritual is sure to endure for many years to come.
The 7th Dongat Taitu Festival opened on Wednesday in Kantar City. 9 art troops from the city's Dongat Taitu clubs are taking part in the 5-day event this year. Known as a musical art that has both scholarly and folk roots, Dongat Taitu developed in the southern part of Vietnam in the late 19th century. The impromptu art honors the creative and artistry of the performers. Dongat Taitu was recognized as an intangible cultural heritage by the UNESCO in 2013. And now, before we say goodbye, let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that concludes our news updates for this morning. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you want to catch a live streaming of our videos, simply log on to vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go. We'll see you back here at 3 p.m. local time. And for now, goodbye from Hanoi.